I believe that there are only two locations that make sense for Nick Saban's return to college football. Now, obviously, that's from my very limited perspective, and I think that some other schools where I could see it, depending on coaching changes being made, or because those schools that are making coaching changes are also blue blood programs, I could see Saban therefore going to Oklahoma. I could see Michigan. I could see USC. But I don't think that those make a ton of sense. Those are just if the right things happen, as in the coaching staffs don't work out there and the boosters are still engaged, and Saban and his wife are willing to relocate and go to a totally different, unfamiliar environment. If all those things are in alignment, then yes, I could see him going to USC if Lincoln Riley doesn't work out, or Michigan if Moore doesn't work out, or Oklahoma if Venables doesn't work out. But there are a variety of things that I think make it such that if Nick Saban returns to college football, there are only two schools that would fit the profile of being in the Deep South and being resource rich that I think would make sense for Saban to return to the sport that he loves, and the sport that I think kind of pushed him out into early retirement because of how NIL and the transfer portal and the new changes to the sport, that just the direction those were taking. These schools are Florida and they are LSU. Both have coaches who I would say are under pressure, coaches where if LSU misses the playoff, I think Kelly is done. Before we resume this segment, please take a few seconds of your time to make sure you have liked the video, subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and for any team podcasts and playlists linked in the description, and also comment your thoughts down below in the comment section and join my Discord server via the description. All of those things I just asked you to do are completely free, and they sign you up for things related to my channel, or they don't sign you up for anything. No cost to you, and all the benefit to you because we release daily college football content here on College Football with Sam. If you want to support the channel monetarily, sign up for a YouTube membership, or check any other links in the description for my merchandise store and Patreon page. Thank you very much, and let's get back to the segment. I think if they go 8-4 like they did last year, he's fired. There's a chance if they go 9-3, he's fired. Seriously. If Florida goes 6-6, if they regress from their record last season, Napier's probably done. Maybe he'll have to go even better than 7-5, although with that schedule and the fact that they're leveling up in talent still and they don't have the expectations LSU does, I don't know if they would fire Napier if they went 7-5 again. I don't. But these schools make sense because they have coaches who are under pressure, and I can imagine that if LSU and Florida get the nod from Saban, say in backdoor conversations that he's willing to return there, then in order to prevent his return, I imagine Kelly wouldn't just have to make the playoffs, but show he could have success in the playoffs. And I imagine that Napier would have to, win 8-9 games with that schedule if there is such a green light behind the scenes. This is just speculative. It's just for fun. But I think these would be the two locations because they both have elite resources. You can win titles there, whether Saban proved it at LSU or Urban Meyer proved it at Florida. They already have good rosters for different reasons. I think for LSU, it's more so that they're talent rich in the state of Louisiana. They do a good job holding in-state talent there. And Kelly, I think, is overall, a good program developer. And he also inherited a bunch of talent that just needed to be coached up, and he was a far better coach than Ed Orgeron was. For Florida, it is recruiting, but I think it's also a little bit of strength and conditioning in the fact that Napier's a Saban disciple, so he's modeled some of his program off of what he learned under Saban at Alabama. And LSU expects to win titles. Saban can fit that mold, and Florida has DJ Lagway. Like, Florida has, I think, right now, more talent than LSU does to work with, especially at the quarterback position. So with LSU, just to briefly rehash these reasons and make them more specific to these two schools, Saban's done it before. It's 48-16 with LSU, won a national title, 2 SEC titles. LSU is elite resources. That's why they were able to poach Kelly from Notre Dame. That's why they were able to go from really being all in on high school recruiting entering the 2025 season in the 2025 recruiting class to then, after they lost out on Bryce Underwood and after LSU disappointed, they went all in on the portal and are still recruiting high in a high school sense. Number 3, Louisiana is a talent-rich state, and I imagine that with Saban there, they'd better be able to lock down the in-state talent and poach talent from surrounding Southern schools. Number 4, LSU already has talent, so Saban would get in there. In year 1, there would probably be a little bit of a rebuild if he were able to build a great staff and be able to promise staffers and players he'd at least be there for half a decade. He'd probably have a year where there are some bumps and some cogs, but in year 2 would be very functional because of the talent base. And number 5, they expect to win titles, and Saban expects himself to win titles, so he could deliver there. For Florida, Florida can win national titles. I mean, Muschamp and Mullen fielded multiple top 10 teams between themselves, and they are not nearly the caliber of coach that Saban was. Meyer won 2 national titles, and in 2009 competed for another one, just ran into Nick Saban in Alabama and lost that SEC championship game. Florida has elite resources. I think they've figured out NIL. Napier's recruiting classes have continued to get better and better and better. They're a state rich with talent. I can only imagine what Saban could do with Florida in-state talent and the talent that's already on Florida's roster. That's reason number 4. They already have the foundation. They're huge in the trenches. I was watching that Georgia-Florida game from last year. Florida in the trenches has matched Georgia's size, which is crazy because Georgia's a big program. And then Napier, has recruited DJ Lagway. His potential with Saban's coaching and game management would be scary. And I just think there are some underlying similarities between what Napier's built at Florida and what Saban built at Alabama. They're not close because I think Napier's a far worse coach. And I think his assistant staff right now is very lacking in certain areas. But in the off-field stuff and the strength and conditioning ways, I think there are similarities there that would make it similar to LSU, where Saban could come in one year, they're a great team, a playoff team, but they're not the best team in America, and then the following year they can really contend for a title. Those are the 2 schools that I think make the most sense for Saban's return in college football. I don't know if he'll return to coaching. I don't think that there's really a huge incentive for him to outside of his own desires and wants and what his wife wants. So it's a mystery, but it's a fun topic. It's weekly news. I wanted to take some time to think about it, not just be reactive to it. So those are my thoughts on how Saban will return to college football. I think that depending on circumstances, you could see, Oklahoma, or, you could see Michigan or USC or some of these other bigger schools if they're coaching, or Florida State. Why wouldn't he return to Florida State if everything aligns? But I think it's just much more realistic and makes more sense for him to return to more of a traditional Deep South SEC school that's closer to where he's been, that he's more familiar with, and those schools would be more interested in hiring Saban anyway than some of those other schools that I mentioned. Thank you for watching College Football with Sam. Make sure that you've liked the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and team playlists and podcasts in the description, join the free Discord server where we talk college football 24/7, and have commented your thoughts down below. Check out the description for any ways you can support the channel monetarily. Everything else I've asked you to do is completely free, and your support means the world to me. We're trying to become the next big thing on college football YouTube. 6-figure subscribers, maybe 1 million one day. I think we can do that. And also check out any videos or playlists, anything in these columns right here, where there will be videos and playlists. Yeah, you get the point. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.